The holographic display trembled, a ghostly reconstruction of a moment that defied all scientific understanding. Archival Administrator Sixtel's translucent appendages moved with practiced precision, manipulating data streams that had been analyzed, reanalyzed, and dissected countless times over the past 12 standard cycles. The gathered representatives from 217 known galactic civilizations leaned forward, their collective breath suspended in anticipation. What remained of Earth was nothing more than a memory, a scattered field of cosmic debris where an entire living planet had once existed. No explosion, no gradual disintegration, simply a sudden, impossible absence that had left the most advanced scientific minds in the universe utterly bewildered. Dr. Karen Chen, the last human diplomatic attaché assigned to the Galactic Preservation Council, sat motionless in the observation deck. Her dark eyes reflected the holographic image, seeing something the others could not. Unlike the alien delegates who saw only a technical puzzle, she understood the depth of what had truly occurred. The initial reports had been maddeningly consistent. Quantum sensors across multiple star systems had registered a simultaneous event. At precisely 1437 Universal Standard Time, Earth simply disappeared. Not destroyed, not transformed, simply gone, as if someone had erased a drawing with a single precise gesture. Preliminary investigations had been exhaustive. Quantum resonance scanners mapped every microscopic frequency. Dimensional probes penetrated every known and theoretical energy spectrum. Hyper-advanced computational systems from the Centauri Collective had spent decades reconstructing every possible scenario. Nothing explained the planet's vanishing. What made the disappearance more perplexing was the simultaneous silence of human colonies. Hundreds of established outposts across 17 star systems went dark at the exact moment of Earth's disappearance. Communication networks collapsed. Quantum entanglement links dissolved. It was as if humanity had collectively decided to hold its breath and step out of reality. The Galactic Senate had transformed the investigation into its most comprehensive research project. Entire research institutions were dedicated to unraveling the mystery. Careers were built and destroyed on theories that came close to an explanation, but always fell short. Some proposed catastrophic technological failure. Others suggested a massive quantum translation event. The most exotic theories spoke of deliberate planetary relocation or a sophisticated defensive mechanism. Yet no evidence supported any of these hypotheses. Sixtel's tentacles moved again, reshuffling the holographic data. Each projection revealed the same impossible conclusion. Earth had vanished without a trace, without warning, without any observable cause. The planet's mass, its orbital trajectory, its electromagnetic signature, all had simply ceased to exist in any measurable way. Dr. Chen knew differently. Her fingers unconsciously traced a complex pattern on her communication device, a habit developed during years of classified research. The truth was far more complicated than any of the assembled delegates could comprehend. The holographic display shifted, showing the last known satellite images of Earth. Clouds swirled over continents. Oceanic currents moved with their usual rhythm. Cities glimmered with artificial lights. Everything appeared normal, right up to the moment of disappearance. No rising energy signal. The human colony stretched across 17 star systems, like a fragmented constellation of hope and mystery. Each outpost was a testament to humanity's relentless drive to explore, survive, and adapt. But something fundamental had changed in the 12 cycles since Earth's disappearance. Dr. Helena Rodriguez studied the latest communication logs from the Proxima Centauri research station. Her office, situated in the diplomatic quarter of the Galactic Senate's central complex, was a study in controlled chaos. Holographic displays danced with encrypted data streams, while physical documents, a rarity in this age of digital communication, were carefully arranged across her workspace. The colony reports were maddeningly consistent. Each transmission was precise, technical, and devoid of any emotional context. Production logs, research updates, resource allocation reports, all perfectly formatted, all utterly sterile. It was as if humanity had collectively decided to communicate through the most impersonal means possible. A soft chime interrupted her analysis. The incoming transmission bore the unique encryption of the Jupiter Deep Space Research Facility, one of the most isolated human outposts. Helena's fingers moved with practiced efficiency, decrypting layers of security protocols that would have defeated most advanced alien intelligence systems. The message was typical in its brevity. Routine maintenance report. Ongoing xenobiological research. Resource allocation update. But something caught her eye. A microscopic anomaly in the data compression algorithm. Most would have overlooked it, but Helena had spent years studying the subtle languages of human communication. She cross-referenced the anomaly with historical communication patterns. A complex network of connections began to emerge, invisible threads linking seemingly unrelated data points across multiple star systems. It was like watching a massive, intricate puzzle slowly take shape. Elsewhere in the Senate complex, the diplomatic corps was growing increasingly frustrated. Representative Marcus Kim from the Outer Colonies Coordination Bureau had been fielding questions for hours. Alien delegates from dozens of civilizations pressed for information, their translator devices struggling to capture the nuanced deflections of human diplomacy. "We continue to investigate the circumstances of Earth's disappearance," Marcus repeated for what felt like the 100th time. His tone was neutral, professional, revealing nothing. Years of diplomatic training had perfected the art of saying everything and nothing simultaneously. The Zentari ambassador, a crystalline being whose molecular structure shifted with emotional states, pulsed with frustration. Its translucent form flickered between shades of deep blue and angry red, a visual representation of its mounting irritation. "Your evasiveness is unacceptable," it communicated through a complex series of light patterns and sonic vibrations. Marcus simply raised an eyebrow. "We are cooperating fully within the parameters of our current understanding." Back in her office, Helena discovered something extraordinary. The communication anomalies were not random. They formed a pattern. A complex, three-dimensional network that seemed to pulse with an intelligence far beyond conventional communication systems. It was as if the scattered human colonies were nodes in a massive, distributed intelligence network. She pulled up a holographic representation of the data. What initially looked like random connections began to reveal a stunning complexity. The colonies were not just sending information, they were processing it collectively, sharing resources, knowledge, and something else that defied traditional understanding. A notification from the quantum communication array caught her attention. Another subtle shift in the communication protocols, so minute that it would have been invisible to any but the most dedicated observer. Helena recognized it immediately. It was a signature, a hint of something profound waiting to be understood. The human colonies were talking, not through words, but through an intricate dance of data, resources, and something that bordered on collective consciousness. They were waiting, preparing, watching. As the Galactic Senate continued its investigation, the scattered remnants of human civilization maintained their cryptic silence. Each transmission, each report, each seemingly mundane communication was a piece of a much larger puzzle. A puzzle that was about to change everything humanity understood about survival, communication, and collective intelligence. Dr. Helena Rodriguez allowed herself a slight smile. The truth was close. Very close. The Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Senate seemed to hold its collective breath. Holographic projectors hummed with anticipation, casting intricate light patterns across the faces of delegates from hundreds of different civilizations. Each species represented a unique approach to understanding reality. Crystalline beings whose molecular structures shifted with thought. Gaseous entities that communicated through complex electromagnetic patterns, silicon-based intelligences that processed information at speeds beyond organic comprehension. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stepped forward, her movements deliberate and measured. She carried nothing but a small data crystal, an archaic storage method that seemed almost quaint among the advanced technological displays surrounding her. Yet something about her presence commanded absolute attention. The preliminary investigations had failed spectacularly. Quantum resonance scanners, dimensional probes, hyper-advanced computational systems, all had fallen short of explaining Earth's disappearance. 12 cycles of research had produced nothing but frustration and increasingly wild theories. Elena's first action was unexpected. Instead of speaking, she activated a holographic display that began projecting a series of mathematical sequences. They were unlike anything the assembled delegates had ever witnessed. The equations seemed alive, moving and transforming with an organic fluidity that defied conventional mathematical representation. Senior researcher Zixtel from the Galactic Archival Institute leaned forward, multiple sensory appendages extending to analyze the projection. The mathematical sequences were beautiful. Each symbol seemed to breathe, to pulse with an intelligence of its own. They shifted between dimensions, revealing glimpses of complex relationships that existed beyond traditional understanding. The alien scientists began to react. The quantum collective representatives, beings of pure energy and computational power, shifted their molecular structures in patterns of intense concentration. Spectral analyzers typically used for mapping cosmic radiation began to react to the mathematical display, generating readings that made no sense within known scientific frameworks. Elena spoke, her voice calm and precise. What you're witnessing is not just a mathematical representation. It's a communication protocol, a language that describes the fundamental transformation of planetary existence. The equations continued to dance. They were more than static symbols. They were a living narrative of something profound. Each sequence told a story of adaptation, of survival, of a fundamental reimagining of what it means to exist as a collective intelligence. Dr. Marcus Kim, standing at the diplomatic observation deck, watched with a mixture of pride and anticipation. He recognized the deeper meaning behind Elena's presentation. This was not just a scientific demonstration. It was a message. The mathematical sequences began to resolve into more recognizable patterns. They showed complex interconnections that suggested a level of communication far beyond anything previously understood. It was as if the equations were describing a living network, a distributed intelligence that could exist across multiple dimensional states simultaneously. Zixtel's translation devices struggled to process the information. The mathematical language defied conventional communication protocols. It was simultaneously a description of physical reality and a method of transferring consciousness, a concept so advanced it challenged the fundamental understanding of existence. Elena continued her presentation, her hands moving in precise gestures that seemed to interact with the holographic projections. What we're showing you is a glimpse of a new form of collective intelligence, not just a technological advancement, but a fundamental transformation of planetary consciousness. The alien delegates began to understand, slowly at first, then with increasing clarity. This was more than a scientific breakthrough. It was a complete reimagining of what it means to be a living, thinking entity. The mathematical sequences started to reveal deeper layers. They showed how an entire planetary system could become a dynamic, adaptive intelligence network. Communication channels that existed beyond traditional electromagnetic spectrum. Survival mechanisms that could navigate quantum pathways previously thought impossible. As the presentation reached its crescendo, the assembled delegates realized they were witnessing something extraordinary. This was not just an explanation of Earth's disappearance. It was a declaration of a new form of existence. Elena's final words hung in the air, a challenge and an invitation. Humanity has not been lost. We have simply changed the rules of what it means to survive. The Galactic Senate Hall fell silent, the holographic equations continuing their mesmerizing dance, a living testament to a transformation beyond comprehension. The presentation room transformed as Elena Rodriguez began to explain Project Chrysalis. Holographic displays materialized, showing layers of scientific and evolutionary data that seemed to breathe with living complexity. What had appeared to be a mathematical abstraction was now revealing itself as the most sophisticated survival strategy ever conceived by a planetary civilization. Dr. Helena Chen, standing at the secondary analysis station, monitored the delegates' reactions. Each species processed the information differently, some through visual receptors, others through complex electromagnetic resonance, a few through quantum entanglement perception. Their collective response was a mixture of confusion, fear, and reluctant admiration. Project Chrysalis was not a simple technological solution. It was a complete reimagining of planetary existence, faced with multiple existential threats: climate collapse, potential cosmic extinction, emerging artificial intelligence challenges. Humanity had developed a strategy that transcended traditional understanding of survival. The holographic displays began to show layers of planetary transformation. What initially looked like technical schematics revealed themselves as a living network of adaptive intelligence. The Earth was no longer a static planetary body, but a dynamic, mobile intelligence system capable of traversing dimensional pathways that most civilizations couldn't even conceptualize. Elena's explanation cut through the complex visualizations. Survival is more than preservation, she stated. It's about adaptation, transformation, and collective intelligence. The project had begun as a series of interconnected scientific initiatives. Climate restoration technologies merged with quantum computing. Biological adaptation research combined with advanced neural network development. Artificial intelligence systems were integrated with human cognitive patterns in ways that created something entirely new. The quantum collective representatives, beings of pure computational energy, showed the first signs of genuine excitement. Their molecular structures pulsed with an intensity that suggested they were seeing something revolutionary. This was not just a technological breakthrough. It was a fundamental reimagining of planetary existence. Layers of the presentation revealed the depth of human preparation. Multiple backup systems, distributed intelligence networks, the ability to modify physical and quantum states at will. Earth had not been destroyed or lost. It had transformed into a living, thinking network that could protect itself in ways no other civilization could comprehend. Dr. Marcus Kim watched from the diplomatic observation deck, a subtle smile playing across his features. The groundwork for this moment had been decades in the making. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to adapt, to reimagine its own existence when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges. The holographic displays showed how the planetary network could now navigate quantum pathways. It could modify its fundamental physical properties, exist across multiple potential realities simultaneously. Traditional concepts of location, time, and physical existence no longer applied. Elena continued her presentation, her voice calm and precise. We developed a method of planetary consciousness transfer. The entire biological and technological infrastructure can now exist as a fluid, adaptive network. The alien delegates began to understand the true nature of what they were witnessing. This was more than a survival mechanism. It was a complete evolutionary leap that challenged every fundamental understanding of intelligence, survival, and collective consciousness. Biological systems merged with computational networks. Quantum computing integrated with human cognitive patterns. The planet itself became a massive, distributed computational system, capable of protecting itself, adapting, and responding to threats in ways that defied conventional scientific understanding. The most shocking revelation was the network's adaptability. The planetary consciousness could choose to reveal or conceal itself. It maintained communication with its scattered colonies through quantum entanglement networks that made standard faster-than-light communication look primitive by comparison. Dr. Helena Chen's analysis systems began to generate additional insights. The planetary network was not just a defensive mechanism. It was a living, thinking entity that could learn, adapt, and evolve at speeds that would make most advanced civilizations seem static by comparison. As the presentation reached its conclusion, the assembled delegates realized they were witnessing something extraordinary. Humanity had not just survived, they had fundamentally changed the rules of existence itself. Elena's final visualization showed the planetary network in its full complexity, a breathtaking display of interconnected intelligence that seemed to pulse with potential. We are not lost, she said simply. We have simply become something more. The Galactic Senate Hall fell silent, the holographic displays continuing their mesmerizing dance, a living testament to humanity's extraordinary capacity for survival and transformation. The simulation chamber of the Galactic Senate transformed into a living canvas of human potential. Holographic displays began to peel back layers of technological innovation that challenged everything the assembled delegates understood about survival, intelligence, and collective consciousness. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stepped forward, her movements precise and deliberate. The previous presentations have been carefully orchestrated revelations, but this segment would push the boundaries of comprehension even further. Behind her, a complex network of data streams began to coalesce into living, breathing representations of humanity's hidden capabilities. The first layer revealed the distributed network of human colonies. What had appeared to be isolated outposts were actually intricate nodes of a massive planet-scale intelligence system. Each research station, each deep space settlement, each seemingly mundane communication hub was a critical component of a living, adaptive network. Senior researcher Zixtal's sensory appendages trembled with anticipation. The data patterns showed something extraordinary, a level of interconnectedness that transcended traditional communication methods. It was less like a network and more like a living organism, with each colony functioning as a cellular unit of a larger, more complex intelligence. The holographic displays began to show how the human network adapted and responded to potential threats. Scenarios of cosmic radiation, planetary catastrophes, and potential alien interventions played out in rapid succession. Each simulation demonstrated an adaptive strategy so sophisticated that it seemed to anticipate challenges before they fully materialized. Dr. Marcus Kim, watching from the diplomatic observation deck, allowed himself a moment of quiet pride. Years of careful preparation, decades of seemingly disparate research initiatives, had culminated in this moment of revelation. The network's capabilities went far beyond simple communication or data sharing. It was a living, thinking system that could modify its own parameters in real time. Quantum computing merged seamlessly with biological adaptive mechanisms. Information flowed like a living fluid, changing shape and purpose with each passing moment. Elena's presentation revealed the true depth of human innovation. The colonies were not just communication points, they were dynamic research stations constantly evolving and sharing knowledge. A breakthrough in one location could be instantaneously integrated across the entire network, creating a collective intelligence that learned and adapted at an unprecedented rate. The alien delegates began to understand the true nature of what they were witnessing. This was not just a technological achievement. It was a fundamental reimagining of collective intelligence. The human network could predict, adapt, and respond to challenges in ways that made traditional defensive strategies look primitive. Biological systems merged with computational networks in ways that defied conventional scientific understanding. The human colonies could modify their physical infrastructure, redirect resources, and develop new technological solutions faster than any known civilization could comprehend. The simulation chamber filled with increasingly complex visualizations. Each display showed a different aspect of the network's capabilities. Quantum entanglement communication systems that could transmit information across impossible distances. Adaptive biological mechanisms that could modify genetic structures in response to environmental challenges. Computational systems that could process information at speeds that made most advanced alien technologies look like ancient abacuses. Dr. Helena Chen's analysis systems began to generate additional insights. The network was not just a defensive mechanism. It was a living, evolving entity with capabilities that seemed to border on prescience. It could anticipate challenges, develop solutions, and adapt in ways that suggested a level of intelligence far beyond traditional understanding. The most shocking revelation was the network's flexibility. It could choose to reveal or conceal itself. Communication channels could be established or dissolved in microseconds. Entire research stations could be repurposed, relocated, or transformed with a speed and precision that seemed almost magical. As the presentation reached its climax, the assembled delegates realized they were witnessing something truly extraordinary. This was not just a survival mechanism. It was a complete evolutionary leap that challenged every fundamental understanding of intelligence, adaptation, and collective consciousness. Alina's final visualization showed the network in its full complexity, a breathtaking display of interconnected intelligence that seemed to pulse with potential and purpose. "We are not limited by traditional constraints," she said simply. "We have become something more." The Galactic Senate Hall fell silent, the holographic displays continuing their mesmerizing dance, a living testament to humanity's extraordinary capacity for survival, adaptation, and transformation. In that moment, everything changed. The diplomatic quarters of the Galactic Senate buzzed with an electric tension. What had begun as a routine investigation had transformed into something far more profound, a complete re-examination of humanity's place in the cosmic ecosystem. Dr. Marcus Kim studied the holographic projections, his fingers tracing invisible connections between seemingly unrelated data points. The human strategy was becoming clearer with each passing moment. What appeared to be vulnerability was actually an intricate, multi-layered plan of survival and adaptation. The scattered human colonies were not random outposts. They were carefully positioned nodes of a massive, planet-scale intelligence network. Each research station, each deep space settlement, functioned like a precisely placed chess piece on a galactic board. They could communicate, respond, and reorganize with a speed and precision that defied conventional understanding. Senior researchers Sixtle's analytical systems worked overtime, attempting to deconstruct the complex network. The human communication patterns were unlike anything in the known galactic archives. Messages were embedded within messages, communication channels shifted and transformed constantly, creating a communication method that was simultaneously transparent and completely opaque. Alina Rodriguez continued her presentation, revealing layers of strategic preparation that left the alien delegates stunned. The human network had been preparing for multiple potential scenarios: cosmic radiation events, potential alien interventions, technological disruptions, environmental challenges. Each potential threat had been analyzed, anticipated, and countered before it could fully materialize. The holographic displays showed a stunning web of interconnectivity. Research stations could instantly redirect resources. Technological innovations could be shared across impossible distances in microseconds. Entire research initiatives could be repurposed or dissolved with a thought. Dr. Helena Chen's analysis revealed the deeper strategy. The human network was not just defending itself. It was actively gathering information, understanding potential threats, and developing solutions at a rate that made most advanced civilizations look desperately slow. The quantum collective representatives, beings of pure computational energy, showed signs of genuine respect. This was more than a technological achievement. It was a fundamental reimagining of collective intelligence and strategic preparation. Each human colony functioned like a neuron in a massive planet-scale brain. Information flowed like living energy, adapting and transforming with each passing moment. Traditional concepts of communication, defense, and survival no longer applied. The most shocking revelations continued to unfold. The network could predict potential challenges with uncanny accuracy. Technological solutions were developed before threats fully materialized. Entire research initiatives could be initiated, completed, and integrated across the network faster than most civilizations could even recognize a potential problem. Marcus Kim watched the presentation with a mixture of pride and anticipation. Years of careful preparation, decades of seemingly disconnected research initiatives, had culminated in this moment of revelation. Humanity had transformed itself from a seemingly vulnerable species to a highly adaptive, almost prescient collective intelligence. The simulation chamber filled with increasingly complex visualizations, communication channels that could be established or dissolved in microseconds, research stations that could be repurposed or relocated with impossible speed, a network that could anticipate, adapt, and respond to challenges in ways that seemed to border on precognition. Alina's presentation cut to the heart of humanity's strategy. Survival is not about resistance, she explained. It's about continuous adaptation, about understanding potential challenges before they fully emerge. The alien delegates began to understand the true nature of what they were witnessing. This was not just a defensive mechanism. It was a complete evolutionary leap that challenged every fundamental understanding of intelligence, strategy, and collective consciousness. The human network could choose to reveal or conceal itself. Communication could flow through channels that most civilizations couldn't even perceive. Entire research initiatives could be initiated, completed, and integrated across impossible distances in what seemed like an instant. As the presentation reached its climax, the assembled delegates realized they were witnessing something truly extraordinary. Humanity had not just survived, they had reimagined the very concept of survival. Alina's final visualization showed the network in its full complexity, a breathtaking display of strategic intelligence that seemed to pulse with potential and purpose. "We are not limited by traditional constraints," she said simply. "We have become something more." The Galactic Senate Hall fell silent, the holographic displays continuing their mesmerizing dance, a living testament to humanity's extraordinary capacity for strategic adaptation and transformation. In that moment, everything changed. The Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Senate transformed into a crucible of understanding. 12 cycles of mystery were about to culminate in a revelation that would reshape every fundamental concept of existence, intelligence, and survival. Dr. Alina Rodriguez stood at the epicenter of this cosmic moment, her presentation becoming a living narrative that challenged everything the assembled delegates thought they knew about humanity. The holographic displays behind her pulsed with a living intelligence that seemed to breathe with potential and purpose. The confrontation was not what anyone had expected. This was not a moment of human vulnerability or explanation. It was a declaration of a completely new form of existence. The scattered human colonies were not isolated outposts. They were carefully positioned nodes of a planetary intelligence that could manifest, communicate, and respond in ways that defied conventional understanding. Dr. Marcus Kim watched from the diplomatic observation deck, his years of careful preparation evident in the subtle tension of his posture. The groundwork for this moment had been decades in the making, an intricate plan of survival, adaptation, and transformation that had been carefully constructed across generations. The holographic displays began to reveal the true depth of human preparation. Each seemingly random research initiative, each distributed colony, each technological development was a carefully placed piece in a cosmic puzzle. The alien delegates began to understand that humanity's apparent randomness was actually a sophisticated, multi-layered strategy of survival. Senior researchers Sixtal's analytical systems worked furiously, attempting to process the incoming information. The human network was more than a communication system. It was a living, thinking entity that could adapt, learn, and respond with a speed and precision that made most advanced civilizations look primitive by comparison. Alina's presentation cut through the complex visualizations with surgical precision. "Vulnerability is an illusion," she stated. "What you perceive as weakness is actually our greatest strength." The revelations continued to unfold. The human colonies maintained communication through quantum networks that made standard faster-than-light communication look like primitive Morse code. They could share information, redirect resources, and respond to potential threats in microseconds, often before those threats could even be fully conceptualized. Dr. Helena Chen's analysis systems generated increasingly complex insights. The planetary network was not just a defensive mechanism. It was a living, evolving intelligence that could anticipate challenges, develop solutions, and adapt with a flexibility that bordered on prescience. The most shocking element was the network's ability to choose its own level of visibility. It could reveal or conceal itself at will. Entire research stations could be repurposed, relocated, or transformed with a speed that seemed almost magical to the assembled delegates. The quantum collective representatives, beings of pure computational energy, showed the first signs of genuine respect. This was not just a technological achievement. It was a fundamental reimagining of collective intelligence, survival, and existence itself. Layer after layer of human capability was revealed. Biological systems merged seamlessly with computational networks. Quantum computing integrated with human cognitive patterns. The entire planetary intelligence could modify its fundamental physical properties, exist across multiple potential realities simultaneously. Alina's presentation reached its crescendo. The human network was not just a survival mechanism. It was an evolutionary leap that challenged every fundamental understanding of intelligence, adaptation, and collective consciousness. The assembled delegates realized they were witnessing something extraordinary. Humanity had not just survived, they had fundamentally changed the rules of existence. What appeared to be a mysterious disappearance was actually a deliberate transformation, a choice to become something entirely new. Dr. Marcus Kim allowed himself a subtle smile. Years of preparation, decades of careful strategy, had led to this moment. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to adapt, to reimagine its own existence when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges. The final visualization showed the network in its full complexity, a breathtaking display of interconnected intelligence that seemed to pulse with potential and purpose. "We are not lost," Alina said simply. "We have become something more." As the presentation concluded, the Galactic Senate Hall fell into a profound silence. The holographic displays continued their mesmerizing dance, a living testament to humanity's extraordinary capacity for survival, adaptation, and transformation. In that moment, everything changed. The universe would never be the same again. The aftermath of the presentation settled like a quantum wave across the Galactic Senate. What had begun as an investigation into a mysterious planetary disappearance had transformed into something far more profound. A complete recalibration of understanding about intelligent life, survival, and cosmic potential. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood at the center of this momentous occasion, her presence both a culmination and a beginning. The holographic displays continued to pulse with living data, a testament to the extraordinary network humanity had created. Around her, delegates from 217 known galactic civilizations sat in a state of collective stunned silence. Dr. Marcus Kim approached the central platform, his movements measured and deliberate. Years of diplomatic preparation had led to this moment, a revelation that would reshape the fundamental understanding of collective intelligence and survival. The implications were staggering. Earth was not gone. It had not been destroyed or lost. Instead, it had transformed into a dynamic, adaptive intelligence network that could exist across multiple dimensional states simultaneously. The planet could choose to reveal or conceal itself, communicate through channels that most civilizations couldn't even perceive, and respond to potential threats before they could fully materialize. Senior researcher Zixtal's analytical systems worked overtime, attempting to process the full depth of human capability. The network was more than a technological achievement. It was a living, thinking entity that challenged every conventional understanding of existence, communication, and collective consciousness. Alina's final presentation began to reveal the deeper strategy. The human colonies were not isolated outposts. They were carefully positioned nodes of a massive planet-scale intelligence system. Each research station, each deep space settlement functioned like a neuron in a complex, galaxy-spanning brain. The quantum collective representatives, beings of pure computational energy, showed signs of profound respect and understanding. This was an evolutionary leap that transcended traditional concepts of survival, intelligence, and adaptation. Dr. Helena Chen's analysis systems generated increasingly complex insights. The planetary network could predict potential challenges with uncanny accuracy. Technological solutions were developed before threats could fully emerge. Entire research initiatives could be initiated, completed, and integrated across impossible distances in what seemed like an instant. The holographic displays showed a stunning web of interconnectivity. Communication channels shifted and transformed constantly. Resources could be redirected instantaneously. Entire research stations could be repurposed or relocated with a speed that seemed almost magical. As the presentation reached its final moments, the assembled delegates began to understand the true nature of what they were witnessing. This was not just a defensive mechanism or a technological breakthrough. It was a complete reimagining of what it means to be a collective, intelligent entity. Alina's voice cut through the complex visualizations. "We are not limited by traditional constraints," she explained. "We have become something more. A living, adaptive intelligence that can exist beyond physical limitations." The most shocking revelation was the network's flexibility. Biological systems merged seamlessly with computational networks. Quantum computing integrated with human cognitive patterns. The entire planetary intelligence could modify its fundamental physical properties, exist across multiple potential realities simultaneously. Dr. Marcus Kim reflected on the years of preparation that had led to this moment. Humanity had transformed itself from a seemingly vulnerable species to a highly adaptive, almost prescient collective intelligence. What appeared to be weakness was actually their greatest strength, the ability to adapt, to reimagine, to become something entirely new. The final visualization showed the network in its full complexity, a breathtaking display of interconnected intelligence that seemed to pulse with potential and purpose. Layers of communication, adaptation, and collective thinking revealed themselves in intricate, living patterns. As the presentation concluded, the Galactic Senate Hall fell into a profound silence. The holographic displays continued their mesmerizing dance, a living testament to humanity's extraordinary capacity for survival, adaptation, and transformation. Alina's last words hung in the air, a challenge and an invitation. "We are not lost," she said simply. "We have chosen to become something more. The universe would never be the same again." In that moment, everything changed. Humanity had rewritten the rules of existence itself.